itself, the private group, or is it in?
It's in the community, yeah. And we're live.
Hi, guys.
Hello, so, hey, everyone. It's the usual Tuesday night stream. And like we've been doing a lot lately, we're doing an interview, as you can see. I am joined. I wonder what side she's on. I can't tell. Oh, nope, it's that one. Anyway. It's Rachael Blaske from 524 Labs. And we're just going to talk about the industry and what 524 is up to and what you just got back from Gamma. How was that?
I did. It was a blast. I am trying to pull up my little thing so that I can share this out so that as many people who want to see my face can.
Awesome.
It was a blast. I love networking and the in the whole industry. It's just, that's my favorite part, is the peopling. Somebody was talking to me. I was talking to Helena Capel earlier today, and she's like, I am a numberer. And I'm like, I am a peopler. Mm-hmm.
She was actually in the group earlier. I'm pulling up the group to the side here so I could just watch the comments here and there. And she was about 5 minutes ago. She was like, hey, have you guys started yet? Like,
I know.
Just 1 second. I promise. We'll be there.
I'm crazy here trying to find where it's at. I mean, I see circus corgis. Where am I at here? Oh, hey, I see my face. All right. I am going to mute my laptop because I like to see what everybody says too.
Same. Yeah, but the first thing that happens when I pull it up usually is the sounds going, so I've got a whole moment of like being all disconcerted. So
yep, I hear that. I hear that for sure. Okay, and then I also had my friend Katie. Do you know Katie Randall? She's
actually relatively local to me. She's down south in Virginia, so on the other side of DC. So
yes, she is like in Fairfax or something like that. And okay, so I am. How do I share? La la la. Jesse's watching. Share this for me, Jesse. I am not smart.
We could probably tag Katie in here anyway, so she'll know we're doing stuff. So I'm gonna do that real quick.
Yes. I need to find. It doesn't give me the share icon here. Hang on.
Yeah, if it's in the group, it doesn't usually share out live because it is a private group. We keep it that way specifically for our members, so everybody feels like it's kind of a safe space. But then we'll share it out on the page once we're done.
Cool.
So,
well, awesome. Well, then I'll quit trying to do things I can't do. I will focus.
Every day is a little bit different. I tell you. Earlier I was doing my first Twitch stream of a video game, which I haven't streamed a video game in quite some time. And boy, that was exciting. So we're going to stick with something a little bit more low key, I think, next time. So,
all right, then. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
My son, he is 10 and he decided that he wanted to do some streaming and and do all that. And then he was very confused also. So he's like, wait, I don't know if I want all that to happen, Mom. And I'm like, well, cool. Let's not do that then.
All right. Well, let me pull this up big. So if you're watching from the Facebook group, if you will do me a favor and go to the top of the comments, there's a little app link up there that says allow StreamYard to see your name. If you could do that, I'd actually be able to identify. So right now, what shows up to the side of the chat for me is just Facebook user. So it really just looks like one person is sending all these comments, which is, I mean, fantastic that one person is this active, but you know,
right.
There could be more.
And so I see, because I'm kind of looking at the StreamYard thing, the chat, and I'm pulling up the one on the actual. There are so many different ways to do this.
I feel like I'm learning new tech like every single week. It's amazing. I love it. I think I use
BeLive. A lot of people use like StreamYard, and I just go with whatever somebody tells.
Well, let's jump into some meat. How's your Kickstarter going? Tell everybody about your Kickstarter and tell us how that's going.
Well, I have it here. Hello.
Ooh.
See?
That's
this
so cute.
Is my a little right. Mint Control is live. I think we have 10 days left. It is definitely I would say seriously, like, here's a scoop. This is the best one. I mean, out of the 4 Mint games, I don't know. I cannot get over this one. It is
Oh,
so good.
that's fantastic.
I know. I mean, Mintworks changed our lives. Like, that was our big first one. And then, we've had a few since then, but Mint Control is so fun and mean, and I love it.
Well, explain it to me,
So,
because Kiki and I have a whole main game thing. So launch into,
oh,
tell me everything.
excellent. Okay. So, Mint Control is the area control version of the Mint world. And basically, you are trying to gain the market share of the mints that everybody's going crazy over in Mintopia. So you start with like the little white mints, and that is the currency that you have, which we kind of have a lot of those around here. Tiny, tiny, tiny little mints. And no, not edible. Don't do it. They're splinters. And they want to claim it by putting their color on it. So we have all these little cute little things to say, no, I am the red business or whatever. So you have 5 action tiles where you can choose to either influence a certain location that you get to choose what you want to work with. There's several of them. And when you have these locations, they have different effects. Like, so the card anatomy, I'm going to dump this all out because this is totally cool, right? So, so for example, so right here, I have a supplier. I can't do this very well. Anyway,
I love that you did a little makeup tutorial. Like, here it is.
Does it look like I watch a lot of this? Because I kind of do. Like, look.
That's awesome.
Okay. I know. So there's the cost right here. That's how much it costs to buy one of those spots. And that's pretty expensive. And so, and then there is the good stuff. So right here, this is, if you get kicked off, you can actually influence another spot for free. Because there's like a consolation of effect or whatever, so that you can then have something good happen when you get kicked out and it sucks. And then if you're on there, there's a presence effect, and the presence effect is kind of your reward for being there. So, and then up here in the corner would be victory points if there was a victory point available. See?
Oh, okay.
And so, yeah, these are really, really good. I mean, to be able to be kicked off and then replace it for free, that's awesome. But you don't really, like, at the end of the game, you're looking for victory points, because you could have complete control over the supplier, but that doesn't do anything for you to win the game. It is the strategy to get to the win of the game.
Because there's no point.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So the cool things about the action tiles, I have these like right here. The urn, the top part, everybody at the table goes. They all get that effect. So everybody's paying attention, everybody's involved. And then the bottom is the perk that you get for picking it.
Oh, okay.
And so, for example, this one is earn 2 if you picked it, and everybody else gets 1. Influence, everybody can pay to put 1 to influence, but then you pay 1 less. And things like that. So you're constantly making decisions based on whether or not it's good, not only for you, but bad for other people.
Oh, I could see that would even like taking something from someone else would have that effect too, because if there was something really good for them to go to,
right. You want to block it kind of. And so you've got the take that kind of thing. But the cool part is that I think this is the cool part. This is what makes it like that little bit that makes it so that I'm really into this game. The fact that if you are introducing somebody to the hobby and you're playing a game for the 50,000th time because you are trying to bring people into your hobby and have more people come to game night, you will still want to play this game because there's going to be little nuances that they're not going to get the first time, and you can still pull it over on them. Like the fact that maybe you should oust yourself because a new player would never think that that's a good thing. And there's, like, for example, this bunker right here. do. You pay $5 to go there, but if you oust yourself, you can't be ousted by other players, but there you go. You get money each time that you pull back out.
What?
So isn't this so cool? Like,
yeah, I love it.
I can't even get over how smart it is. I like the tightness of how it makes sense, and it's just so many ways that you can play it. I had somebody tell me the other day that they their initial thought was to influence. Like, that was like, I should grab that action and grab it from everybody right away. Whereas his wife did earn and made a lot of money, and then ended up running away with the win at the end.
Good for
and
her.
I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, there's so many different ways to play it. So
that's fantastic.
It's very cool.
I like especially the parts where you're kind of choosing what you want to do, but everyone else, I mean, it just keeps everyone engaged. So when it's other people's turns, then you know, you still got something to do, and it doesn't feel like you're just kind of playing a solo game, but with people
That's
around
exactly
you.
right.
That's awesome. Well, let's go back.
Down and go ahead. I sat down with Kat Ryder from Glory Hound.
Yes.
And she kind of was like just doing the same. She's like, oh. Like, and then I love to trash talk when I game. So like, I would put something out like, yeah, what now, Kat? Like, what's she gonna do?
That sounds like a Kiki and I game. We've actually even got a new logo for our Wednesday night Twitch streams that looks a little like old school roller derby or lady wrestling stuff.
Oh, very nice.
Very heated on Wednesday night. So
awesome.
If you're ever around, that goes for everybody. 9:30 my time. That's East Coast. Wednesday nights on Twitch, man. It's there's a throwdown going on in there, so it's pretty evil.
And Kiki's on Pacific, right? She's on the other side. Gosh, you guys have to coordinate.
It's kind of funny because I wake up in the morning and I've got all these 2 a.m. messages from her, but then by the time she gets up, I've loaded our Slack with a ton of stuff for her. So yeah, it's pretty fun. So
nice.
But so I was going to say, let's go back. How did you get into, I don't want to say how did you get into games because, I mean, everybody asks that. How did you get into the business of games? When did you decide, you know what, I don't just want to play this, I want to make them. I want to develop them. I want to publish them. What was the catalyst for all that?
Well, I never really said that. Okay, so my husband, Justin, he decided to make games first. He started, I think the first time he tried running a Kickstarter was 2013. And that was Area 1851, and it ended up getting picked up by a publisher, and then ended up making Mintworks during a Board Game Geek contest for one of the Mint Tin contests. And it went really well, and he had a lot of fun. He thought, I could do this. And so he went through and did Mintworks and Mint Delivery. And during all that, he maintained a full-time job. We ended up we had one child at the beginning, and then we adopted 3 in the middle of all that. So it's just been a lot and I mean, working entrepreneurship life be like, things were wearing on him. So at one point he was just like, I just can't do this. And I'm like, I don't want to watch you walk away from all of this hard work. I mean, it was such a part of our life for a long time. And to be totally honest, I kind of resented games for a while because when he would work all day long and then come home and then work all night on games, it was rough a little bit. Wow. But watching him do something that he got so much out of was really, really important. And then at the end of when he was kind of burning out and asking for help, I was just like, you know what? I can answer emails. I could do that.
Yeah.
That's something I could do. And I'd been staying home with my kids for a long time. I had little kids, and then they had all kind of started to go off to work or to work. dear Lord, that should happen soon. But no, they were headed off to school, and I was babysitting my niece, and just kind of like, you know what, I'm gonna do this. So then I kind of fell in love with the people, because I was talking to people a lot about the games, and then I'm like, games are kind of fun, and I really like that he likes the stuff, and now it's more a part of our life because I am so dang interested now. And the best part was, we were coming back from a family trip. We live in Nebraska, and we had gone to visit all my family in Denver, and I decided I was going to help out. And that 8-hour trip was like a primer in board game industry.
Wow.
I screenshot, because I knew we wouldn't have any, we wouldn't have signal. Because there's nothing in the middle of Nebraska. And so I screenshotted like the hotness on all 2 tracks, the games, the companies, and the designers. And I just was like, this name, tell me. This name, tell me.
That's fantastic. Wow,
yeah.
You're not kidding.
It was like 101. And I just, because I love that kind of stuff. I like a trivia person, and I remember a lot of names and people and things, and so then I ended up going to PAX U, not this last year, but the year before was my first con ever.
Wow.
Yeah. And I went to that, and I was able to go, oh, that's what Z-Man does. Okay. And, oh, this is Chick Theory. Cool. And they did this, and this, because I had that primer behind me, and I didn't feel so completely out of it. So yeah, it was just kind of how that worked.
It feels like, when you see in the movies, like a politician has someone behind them, and it goes, oh, well, that's the ambassador to so-and-so, whatever. Like you've got all this in your head. You're like, oh, okay, I know that's the second in command for so-and-so games, and they're actually.
Yes.
That's so cool.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that was actually Devil Wears Prada. I watched that the other day. I was like, this is
that is so cool.
So yeah, I'm one of those. I like to look. I'm a big researcher, and I'll look and see all the things before I jump into a situation, so I can usually feel like my feet are under me.
That's a smart way to do it. That way you're more confident when you kind of get in there, because you have that background. I think that's amazing. And you've come so far in the last year. I mean, so PAX U was your first year, and then this year you hosted that amazing breakfast that I came rushing into. That was a hoot. How many women showed up for that? Women and non-binary folk?
Gosh, I think that it was around 45-ish or something like that. And we did the same thing at Gen Con, and the first one I did was at Origins, and we had 10 people, and it was great. And I was like, I have no idea who's coming, but I'm gonna eat breakfast. And I think Stella came, and Debbie came, and we ended up, I met Ella there, and Charisse. There was like, I have pictures from each one, and it's just been really cool to get to know everybody. I met Kristen Looney and Sherry Spiro at the one at Gen Con, and Anya from Kickstarter. Like, it's just been so cool I just told myself that if I'm going to go into this, I want to make friends, I want to enjoy my job, and I want to help people. And so if those 3 things can occur on a pretty darn close to daily basis, then I can do this.
Yeah, no, I've loved. So we did, Carla and Tien and I had done one for Unpub last year, and 20 some odd ladies showed up. When we were kind of surprised, because we thought maybe 6 or 7 would get together, and ended up filling like several tables full of folks. So it was awesome. It was really, because not only cons are great, and I love going to meet and get to hug folks, when we can actually hug folks, but getting that FaceTime that's one-on-one for just something as casual as we're going to sit down and we're going to have some coffee and we're just going to talk.
Right.
There's something really special about that. So I think it's great that you're organizing these, so that everybody can kind of really get to know each other a little little bit more than just, hey, we emailed and I just wanted to shake your hand real fast before I run off to
Right.
the next
And
thing.
initially there was a ton of pushback. They're like, Saturday morning, do you know how late I have to stay out on Friday night? I'm like, yes, I do, because I'm staying out late too. You can do this because we gotta eat. We gotta stand in our booths all day on Saturday. And if you don't want to drop dead, you need some food.
I
So
appreciate that you're encouraging everybody to have a nutritious meal on Saturday during the con.
I know I'm momming everyone. I'm like, come on, guys, let's eat.
Sometimes we all need it.
I know. It's so true, because most of the time I would never eat unless Katie, I told you, Katie Randall, she's my mom, and
Yeah.
she follows me around. She's like, Rachel, did you eat?
That's
So
funny.
it's very true.
That's awesome. Well, what is the best thing that you've played lately? I mean, I know you've been working on the Kickstarter, and that is, something that occupies all your time. But what have you been playing?
Well, let me see. Recently, so I didn't have enough going on, so I decided to organize a local con.
Oh, cool.
And I homeschool my children, and then
Oh, I didn't know that about you. I game schooled for almost 20 years. So
well, I've had my kids, they have, they're from some hard places, and so my one of my sons was diagnosed with autism this past year, and so I had brought him home to try and figure out that diagnosis and see what was going on with him. So for fall semester, I had him home, and then my daughter was struggling with middle school and the transition and everything, so I brought her home and sent him back because I try to do that. And she had just come back, and we just kind of got back on track, and I was supposed to send her back on Monday. And that was when everything happened. And they're like, no, everybody's homeschooled now. That's just what it is now.
Congratulations, everyone. Jeremy Howard asked if he's like, is this the mince girl? Will she do the mince challenge?
Oh, good Lord. What is that?
I don't know.
What is that, Howard?
The last few challenges I've seen have not been pleasant, so I'm not challenging anything. I'm challenging myself to eat some Reese's. How about that?
Yes, exactly. Oh my goodness. Well, and then you were asking about, okay, so I was helping with our local convention, which is the Great Plains Game Festival. And I was irritated with them because I'm like, I'm trying really hard to always launch a Kickstarter on 3/3 and 9/9. That is my desire to be consistent and predictable so that I can form my audience and let them know what I'm planning. And if I do that, then my global audience likes it because a month, day, month, those Europeans, they do their craziness. So just throwing that out there, guys. But yeah, I'm trying to do that, and they couldn't get their venue except for February 28th through March 1st. And so that was rough. But it worked out. I taught Chronicles of Crime while I was there.
Oh.
I taught just one while I was there. Oh, and when I was at Gamma, I got to sit down with Vince and see some of his 1400 that he was working on.
Oh.
They were demoing. Gosh, I love Vince. And and Vince is awesome because we've recently become foreign partners. He's making the Mint games in French.
Oh, cool.
And so that has been a new world that I've kind of dove into, having all of these localizations. We're doing Chinese, Japanese, German, Italian, Spanish, and probably a bunch that I said, I don't know. There's a lot.
It sounds like a lot.
I know somebody's got their number. No worries. We won't forget anybody.
That's awesome. So he's going to be localizing all of those over there then.
Well, he's not doing all of those languages. He's doing French,
right.
But I'm going to be we're working with a lot of different partners for that. So that's really exciting.
Yeah.
And I just, like I said, I'm a peopler. So I like just having more people. Somebody said at Gamma, because we were going to dinner or something, and they're like, wait a second. You just had 3 people, and now you have 4 people. Rachel collects people. As I'm going, I just kind of go, okay. And People have said that about me a long time. I did it with my children. So
You're like one of those boats and everything just kind of falls into your wake and just goes with you. So
yes,
nice.
I'm a force.
So you demoed Chronicles of Crime. That one's really hard to say right now.
It is.
Yeah. What else did you get to play at Gamma?
Well, at Gamma, let's see, Gamma, I had a lot of fun with people. But honestly, if I can remember this correctly, I think I only played one game.
Really?
Because I make sure I talk to a lot of people. But for sure, I played one game over and over, and then I signed it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all I can say about that.
Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna have to come back when you can say more about that, because
because
that's
this
exciting.
one's gonna be incredible.
Oh, that's fantastic. Congratulations. I'm really excited for you. Yeah.
Yes.
Can you say who you signed it with? You can't say anything.
I could say that the designer is a very incredible upcoming female designer.
That's actually a lot right now, which is really, really good.
I know, right?
Yeah. So, oh, that makes me feel good though. That's fantastic. I feel like women in the industry, we're really seeing a lot of growth in that. I know,
yes.
I mean, you've been doing this for a year. Elizabeth came out of the gate last year with Wingspan. Yep. We've got I've been doing this, I guess, for a year and a half. Like, it seems like the last couple of years have been just like this exponential growth for ladies in this space, and it's really cool to see, and it's a really cool time to be here and watch that happen. So
and just kind of jumping in, like once we're in, we're all in. Like, I'm here, this is who I am loud, and I have crazy hair that I decided to, get to my mid-30s and go, oh, I'm gonna have pink hair, and my daughter has to deal with it. But it's definitely become like, people, I stick out a little bit, so people like, that's Rachael. And one of my favorite parts of Gamma, actually, Katie and I, we were roommates, and we hung out with Corey Thompson. Do you know him from the Dice Tower?
I may have met before, but
he writes the Dice Tower news. And he usually he's like, my avatar is the Dice Tower guy with the steak in front of him, because I always take designers out for dinner to interview them. And I'm like, I want steak. Can I have steak? I don't have to be a designer to have steak, right? Like,
yeah, now I feel like I'm asking people for interviews the wrong way.
Right? I know. You should be steak, right? But so he has this whole Grateful Dead vibe. He's got a big gray head of hair that is awesome. So Katie and I made a point to go and braid it for him every day.
Oh, it's so cute.
And on the last day, I was like, you know what? I have a better plan for you today, Corey. And he was like, okay. And we, the Ray hairstyle with the like the little balls going down the back of your head with like multiple, like,
that's awesome. Oh my gosh.
And then
are there pictures of this?
Oh yes. I haven't actually put them out yet. I should do that. But like, I know that Bebo took a picture because she was the photographer for Gamma. And he told me that Bebo said it was cool, so he felt like he passed. And and that he got pictures and stuff, and he said anytime anybody asked, I said Rachael did it, and who's that? And oh, the one with the red hair. Oh yeah, I've seen her. Because my hair was red last week.
Yeah. So, well, Paul said you can be anyone and have a steak. It's not a big deal. The stakes aren't high. So we're gonna. All right, Paul, thank you for that.
I entirely approve, because my whole world is puns. I live in the Mint universe, like Mint Cooperative. I mean, did you ever hear what the villains' names in Mint Cooperative are?
No,
Like because it's like dental, and like, so the starting level bad guy is named Nick O'Teen. Like that's his name.
Oh no. Oh my
And
goodness.
and then the big bad boss is the mom, and her name is Ginger Vitus. So
Oh man. That's so
it's
good.
beautiful.
It's like I groan, but I love them every time. So I can't
That's
get.
right.
I've
That's
been
right.
playing Pokemon because I don't have enough to do with my time, and
That's right.
I'm not Pokemon generation, so I'm just getting into this. But all the names are like puns of what they are. So my partner is sitting on the couch with me, and as I get to a new section and like something comes up, he'll say the name like 3 or 4 times. Like, do you get it? Do you get
Do
it?
you get it?
And I'm like,
Do you get
yes.
it?
Okay, I got it. Thank you. Moving on.
And I'll look over it and say, yeah, you look like a Snorlax too. I'm just saying.
That's fair. Oh my gosh. So with all this great growth in the industry, what is something that if I were a woman new to design, new to development and publishing and wanted to kind of get in, what would your suggestions be? What would your advice be to someone who really wants to join this industry?
Come to breakfast.
Eat some eggs and coffee.
Have eggs on a Saturday morning. No, honestly, like put yourself out there. Like there are people who want to be your friends and you don't even realize it yet. And I think that every day that I can connect somebody with somebody else is a good day. And today, so recently I did a workshop at our local university. I did crowdfunding 101 kind of thing. And a lot of people talked to me after that. And one of them was a uh, children's book illustrator. So today usually my first time I talk to them, I don't charge anything. I just want to teach them. And I said, let's give you a board game industry primer in what artists should you be following to learn about their styles? What publishers do you think your portfolio would match? And all these different things. And by the end of the 90 minutes, I ended up on the phone with that poor woman. She was probably like just fried. But at the end of that, I'm like, hey, I would love for you to contact this person, reach out to them and see which she's an artist that goes to a lot of cons. And so maybe she'll tell you which ones are the best for networking and help you even further. And I think that your portfolio would kind of match these two publishers and I know them. So let me just shoot them a quick message and let them know you're alive. And I just want to do that.
Yeah. So that you're saying call you.
Yeah. I know some people. I'm trying really hard to know some people.
That's fantastic. One of the things I like about the community is how everyone seems to kind of want to try and lift everyone else up. Yeah. Whether or not you're another publisher or you're a designer or you're in content or you're trying to do a little bit of all of that, it's still small enough that everybody kind of gets to know everybody else. Right. So that's pretty fantastic. So you've been part of the community as, someone working in the industry for a year. Beforehand, did you feel that way in the community as well?
No, I was totally checked out. It was Justin's thing, and I kind of was ignoring it, and like it was not a thing. And now it's just like this big, vibrant piece of me that I'm, talking to people all the time and working really hard to be known as somebody who is a part of the community and does care about people. And I did a podcast last night that said, what do you want to be remembered for? And I mean, he was insinuating like games or whatever. And I'm like, at Gamma, I didn't do a booth because I wanted to take meetings and kind of watch, get my feet, like I said, research, get my feet under me. And I was walking the floor in the exhibit hall and I got a text from one of my friends who was exhibiting. And he's like, Rachael, I'm dying. Do you have a cough drop? And I'm like, okay, first, A, yes, I have a cough drop because that's who I am. And B, thank you for asking, because you knew that I would do it in a heartbeat, and I'll be there in 5 minutes and I'll give you 3. So that is what I want to be in this industry for sure.
The person that folks just know that they can count on to have the thing or to be able to get the thing for them. That's really, I mean, that's a really good thing to be known as, you know. And I think you're right. I think there's a lot of people that would have just said, you know, this sort of game, and you know, and that's fine. Everybody wants to be known for different things, but that's a pretty cool one. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I was actually going to ask you a similar question, so thank you for answering it already. See, you foresaw my need, and you already fulfilled.
I knew. I love it.
Well, another one of the questions I usually ask is, what are you going to do upcoming? But I know for everybody right now, that's kind of not a thing. So,
gosh, it is scary stuff out there right now.
yeah.
I mean, I'm trying not to spaz, but I mean, in terms of the campaign, I have been really, really lucky and not seen any kind of downward trend yet. Which I feel like that is partially because of the price point. I mean, people I see dropping $100 pledges and things like that. I feel bad for those big price points, because that in the next month could mean, you know, a lot of ramen for some families. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's a dispensable income thing that they may really need to drop. Yeah. But when it comes to a $10 game, that, I mean, really, there might be nutritional value in these.
I think that's just what Jerry Howard was talking about earlier. Like, how many mints with a mint tin can you eat? Right. Do not do that, people. No one recommended that.
Do not do this at home. But yeah, I definitely am kind of still reeling about trying to work running a full-time campaign while having 4 kids at home. And my husband is working remote and trying to keep the door to his office closed. He works full-time as a computer programmer. And I'm just like, wow, this is everything in our community shut down today. Yeah. It was, and I know that like there's been a lot of lockdowns and things like that, but I was like, the movie theater shut down. What is happening? I don't know.
Yeah,
but I walked outside for the first time since Gamma today, because I've been trying to self-quarantine because I don't feel anything, but I also know I was there with like 800 people and I don't want anything bad to happen.
Yeah.
But so I've really stayed in my house since Friday, and I decided I was going to take a walk around the block, and I went out and I was like, oh, look, there's a person. Oh, and they're walking their dog. And I was like, oh, the peopling. So I walked and I was like, hello, people. Hello. And then I came back in my house and I see all my people again that are very sick of seeing me.
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how much this creates kind of a new norm, especially in our culture. When so many people are, you know, working and have particular set hours and everything else. So we'll see how that goes. Right. It's going to be interesting to see how it affects our industry as well, and what changes we may see because of the way that we manufacture and the way we market things and everything. Right. So there could be a lot of changes on the horizon for that. This all that excitement aside, what would you like to see the industry be doing better in the next 5 years?
Oh gosh.
See, I get you with easy questions early.
I know. I feel very attacked right now. Gosh, there are so many ways to improve in everything. I think that training. I think that Gamma is really stepping up in that area this past year specifically. But when I first came in, that first PAX U, I remember sitting down with Gerald King, and he was talking about how there was just not a whole lot of training. Like it's such an amateur industry in some ways, because people, it's ingenuity and design and coming from this very personal place in all of our game rooms. Like we fall in love with the game, and then we learn how to make the game, and then we're just making it up as we go along. And James Matthey, Jamie Stegmeyer, Brandon Collins. They're all amazing people. And now Jake Cormier, he's been working really hard to push out a lot of content to teach. I am a huge teacher. Like that's before I got bored, but I was going to school to teach, and then I think I was like at the last little bit, and then I'm like, wait, but marketing sounds good. Like, and then I ended up getting married. I'm like, oh, well, whatever. And now I just kind of teach and a little bit of marketing and apparently run a board game company. You never know what's going to happen in the life of Rachael Blaske. It just really, really out of nowhere most of the time. But I feel like anything that, like I said, I can teach, I can mentor, and that I just soak in the peer-to-peer seminars. Like was one of my favorite things of Gamma. And there's a lot of people who don't like going to conventions for that, but I am totally a sucker for that kind of stuff. I'm like, please teach me all the things. And so that was probably where my passion lies, is teaching people how to do this and not make the same mistakes. I hate reinventing the wheel. Yeah. I will make the wheel better all day long. But the more we reinvent the wheel, the more we burn out ourselves and our partners and our families. And that shouldn't be the way that this goes. So we need to kind of gather around and help each other.
Absolutely. Do you think bringing in more training and professionalism, do you think that would be better, or would that for indie publishers, or do you think that might kind of streamline the process to where, the little guy has a harder time, a little guy or gal, I should say, or just the little person, has a harder time getting into the industry? I know sometimes you see people complain that, Kickstarter isn't the same as it was 5 years ago. And, it's not.
Agreed.
But I still think that there's ways, provided people stay on top of learning this stuff, that they could do that. So what do you think about that?
I think that limiting accessibility would do that. I think that putting a huge price tag on education would do that. But I'm the type that I want to send my kids to free college in Europe, because if I'm going to pay for it, I'm going to just go visit, like maybe like somebody that I've noticed goes to Europe to visit their kids. But not
right now. But yeah,
that's true. But I think that it's not going to hurt people to learn some general practices. And I hope that we have creative enough people that are coming in that it's not going to stem that creativity. I don't want to tell them how to do their job. I want to show them what has been done so that they can continue to improve their wheel. And I'm not going to act like I know anything better than anyone else, because it's such a changing landscape. I mean, Kickstarter is not the same as it was a week ago right now. Like, I can't even presume to say those kind of things. So I was talking to Helena. She's like, I think I'm going to launch tomorrow. And I'm like, I will do my best to support you, and Godspeed, because I have no idea how the next, whatever is going to go, but I will support her in that, and she's going to do awesome. And I hope that that everybody can kind of rally around the ones who have to do what we have to do, because we have production schedules and things like that are hard to deal with when you're small and indie. Like, this is a huge, this is the main part of my year to have this on Kickstarter. And yeah, it kind of sucks that they're probably, it's going to be a smaller campaign than typical, but I like that people are still supporting us because they know that we work really hard. We pour our hearts in our games, and we are really just doing it for the end user. We want you guys to have family time and to have good times with your friends, and that's what we do this for.
I think once you've done it a few times, right, you get that. And you've probably noticed this too, and can speak even more so than I, that there's that brand loyalty that comes from you all being authentic.
Right. Yeah. And I noticed that a lot this year. In the past, when I ran like the Mint Cooperative campaign, It was hunker down, do not leave the couch, do not leave your laptop for 25 days straight and just talk to people. This time I wasn't able to do that. I went to Gamma, and I feel like there was a little bit of a disconnect between me and my audience during that time, and I'm kind of playing catch up now. But I'm glad that I'm back now, and of course stuck to my couch for the near future. I will tell you this. This is like, okay, real life, right? We're stuck in our houses with our kids that are not at school and our spouses that are not at work. And I'm in the middle of a conference call talking to somebody, and my kids come to me. We have 3 guinea pigs, okay? They are convinced the guinea pigs are going to die if I do not deal with some sort of constipation issue with the guinea pig right now. And I cannot finish this call. No, Mom, is there now?
Sorry.
like, like, are you kidding me? Like, it's gonna be okay. And I'm like, no. And so rather than make this big thing about like, no, Mommy's on a call, like, I'm sorry, guys. Let me just get right back to you. This is real life right now. I need to go save a guinea pig's life. And that guinea pig is clear as a bell now. No worries. Got it. And
well, thank God for that.
It's ridiculous.
I think it's another way though that might make everyone's interest a little bit more interesting because we're all doing that, not just the folks in board games, but I know even with the things that Ben does right now. I guess somebody's dogs had a fight behind them. Somebody else had a screaming baby in the background. Like,
do you remember when it made the news? There was a guy who was doing a CNN interview from his home office. His kid came in, his wife like army crawled in and grabbed the kid and pulled him out and shut the door. It was amazing. I was like, that is real life.
It is.
I love that.
And I think, last year that was 9 Days Wonder, right? Because everybody's like, oh, that's so funny. And now we are all literally that guy, right? Like trying to pull the dog off with 1 foot while we're talking to somebody during a live stream or something. We're like, no, not right now.
Oh, I had no idea what was going to happen with this. I mean, they're being really, really good. Like I told you, just like, I mean, you guys may get to see the Blaske 6, who knows? But They actually saw me. They're like, "Oh, Mom, you put on makeup. Are you working tonight?" I said, I am. I'm going to do a live in a few minutes." And they're like, "Oh,
that's
okay, Mom. Whatever."
I think it's another thing when you work at home all the time. They know by your level of dress whether or not you're going to be facing people or
like,
not.
The fact that I put on clothes today, like, I mean, I'm not wearing pajama pants that have a huge hole in them. Like, they're like, "Oh, Mom, you're so fancy right now."
To be fair, though, I have learned working at home that this is as much as I have to be dressed.
That is true. That is true.
It could be anything below. No one knows.
And it's great. I don't feel like I have to do this, but I love it. So it's fun. This is like me taking care of me. And I'm like, yes, I like to watch the little, like I love watching the YouTube stuff. And
yeah,
it's fun. I mean, I just like taking that time for myself because I haven't had it for a long, long time. So like, this is what I want to be.
So, okay. So on that sort of note, if somebody is new to working at home, what's your advice for not sitting around in front of the refrigerator all day and in their underwear on the couch streaming Netflix? I mean, look, and no shame if you are that person who wants to do that. But if someone
like, wait a second, are you recommending that I stop doing that?
Absolutely not. But a number of people have said, oh gosh, I'm not sure how to transition working at home. What would be your top 3 things for someone who is new to working at home?
I mean, honestly, I am horrible with work-life balance. Like, ask anybody, they're like, Rachel, stop working. And because I just get so passionate about all the things that I'm doing. And I'm like I said, today I've been connecting a lot of people. I was talking to Gabe Barrett about his book, and I was apologizing to him because I didn't answer him when he was asking me to contribute. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I pledged it, and maybe next time I can help. And he's like, no, you should do it now. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't want to screw up your 50 people. So how about I try and get you to 55, and then cool. I'm always over and above. Like, I don't I don't. So I would say for working at home, if you're like me, take a lunch break.
No, that's a really important one, right? Because you don't
I
think about it,
mean,
you work through.
oh yeah,
You're
no, I
hangry as
very like
hell.
again, Katie will tell you, Rachel, eat. Like this is why I have the breakfast so that I remember to eat on Saturday mornings.
I gotta do this anyway. Y'all come do it with me.
Right, right. And I mean, remember to eat lunch. Try to get I had a really hard time when I had my office in the basement. And so I brought it up, and now I'm on the main level and have a spot by the window. I can open the window. That helps a
Oh,
lot.
that sounds nice.
And let's see. And I would say number 3, clock out at the end of the day.
Really?
Yeah,
Like
because
have a quit time.
yeah, because my kids want to know when I'm off work, and I'm not good about telling them ever.
Yeah.
So I think that especially because I have put a lot of time into homeschooling my kids this year specifically, and I had kind of gone full time with this year. And so I would do a lot of work with them in the morning, trying to get them through everything. And then in the afternoon, I had a real hard time letting it go because I'm like, I know that this 8 hours is going to have to come from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, who are we kidding? 8 hours, but uh, at least try to check out from like 4 to 8 or whatever, and be with your family, because I'm not so good at that, and it's something I really work on.
That's helpful. I think all 3 of those pieces of advice are enormously helpful, especially for people who have not experienced you're basically at your office all the time. So it's real easy to get like wrapped up in work and then realize it's midnight and all you did all day long was work and you forgot lunch. So
yes, but in this industry, sometimes that's fun. And if you're doing something you really love, that can happen so quickly because it's not work sometimes. I mean, that legit, it is sometimes really work. But a lot of the days, like today, when I'm talking to people all day, I can do this a long time.
Unfortunately, we are out of time because I know you have somewhere to be and I have somewhere to be too. So I'm going to wrap it up and say good night to all the folks. But what else? Tell everybody what you have going on in your life and where to see you, find you on the internet.
On the internets, I am on mintseries.com, 524labs.com. I am 524 Labs on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I am much more on Facebook than any other medium. And we even have a Mint Series board game group. But if you really want to hang out with me, Discord.
Oh, I don't think I knew you had a Discord. So
we have a Discord, and those are my buds. Those are my peeps. They will watch out for me. They're my little evangelists that I talk, like, they are always there, like, and keep me in the know and things. And I try to, like, it's almost like I was explaining this to somebody today, and they're like, it's kind of like a Patreon. Like, those are your inner circle where you get there, they hang out with you, and so you give them little extras. Like, I will say, guess what, guys, I'm, like, screenshot, this is what I'm working on today, and what do you guys think about this? And I involve them a lot more, and I really appreciate those guys a lot. And anybody who wants to come hang out with me, I'm there really frequently.
Awesome. So would they just contact you through one of the Facebook groups or just send you a DM or?
Yeah, you can send me something there, and on Discord itself, I think somewhere, probably, I think on the campaign page, we have like a Discord invite. You can click on there on the Mint Control campaign. Okay. Oh, and then obviously we're on Kickstarter right now with Mint Control, and you should pledge like $10. That'd be cool.
How many days do you have left on that?
I think 10.
Okay.
I have not checked very well today, but
10 days left. Again, $10 to get the game, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty easy to remember.
Yeah.
Right. Awesome. Well, thank you for doing this with me. I know the last couple of weeks for everybody has been kind of crazy, but this has been super, super fun. And I mean, there were a ton of folks watching, so we'll drop some more
Cool.
links into the chat for everybody so that you can go and find Rachael in all the many places that she is online. We're going to say goodnight for tonight, and Rachael, we'll have to have you back soon when your next announcement comes out, because I'm super excited about that.
Oh yeah, cannot wait.
All right, everybody. I will see you tomorrow night on Twitch, and have a great evening. Bye.
Night.